Okay, welcome to the movie, episode 21 of the movie Lighthouse, shining a light through the fog of film. My name's James.
I'm Laurie.
Wyndham.
Are you looking at the camera, Laurie?
I am looking at that camera. What is that up there?
Yeah, we are live streaming into the Lighthouse today.
Boom!
For our millions and millions of followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
They've been asking for it for a long time.
Yeah, harassing us. So here we go. We've come of age. It is episode 21.
Is it?
Yeah, we can now legally... Don't know, really.
Buy alcohol in California.
And Maine.
And Maine.
Yeah, so East and West Coast. We have got it covered. Right, so, how is everyone? You alright?
I'm really good. I'm really thirsty. Could you grab my beer? So I didn't know he was going to kick off.
Ah,
Yeah.
we got an email.
Holy shit!
We certainly have.
The title of this email is Tarrant and Rave.
Yes, we know him. The Southwestern Winkler.
Could well be.
That's the guy.
Dear the crew of the Lighthouse, what a delight I had to find myself mentioned in your latest podcast, 1992. As always, the show was informative and entertaining. With regards to the aforementioned mentioning, I thought it worth a few words from me on Pet Sematary. Is this the new version?
Yeah,
The film that
the one I went and saw half of.
saw half of.
James. And this does look like it's directed squarely at you.
Oh, hello.
Surely we can't critique a film without watching it to the end. Also, waiting for karaoke after a trip to the bar is not the best mood setter for a horror flick. You need to be sitting with the lights down low with a storm raging outside to get into that zone thing. I speak from experience, my friend. I remember going to the pub and having more than a couple of pints before attempting to watch the first Lord of the Rings. We staggered out after 30 minutes mumbling load of bollocks and such like. Anyways, as a King fan myself, it's a thing to appreciate any film wholeheartedly after reading the book. It is a thing to appreciate any film wholeheartedly after reading the book.
Yeah.
I did find this one not straying too far from the book's storyline, and I did appreciate some of the changes. Did you get as far as the sister?
No.
No.
I got about half
Terry,
an
you
hour
are
through.
nailing him, man, and
Which
you
is a
are
shame,
right.
because definitely one of the best bits. Give it another go and let your less, and I'll bet you're less harsh with your review. Also, in the last episode, you talked about models versus CGI. My good friend JC of Milk Productions has said he'd be happy to have an interview with you guys, and you could maybe get his spin on this. Although, to be fair, he's probably just going to want to talk about Jaws.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh.
Let's do
Too
it.
bad, is it?
Now, you know his guy that actually works for Milk. He's the guy that did all the Doctor Who...
All the special effects.
Yeah. And he's now currently working on, is it Good Omens? The Terry Pratchett, Neil Gaiman thing. He's the effects guy. And what did he just say? What did he just offer? An interview?
That'd be amazing.
Oh my God, Tarrant and Rafe, let's get this on, boy.
Yeah.
Nice work. Thank you very much.
provided
We'll definitely do that.
I'll
Here's a
buy
link.
2 buckets of your Winkles this time.
Here's a link to an interview within this month in Animation Magazine, which sort of reflects what you guys were discussing.
Okay, well, we'll put that on the
got that link.
Facebook page and shit.
Looking forward to the next podcast already, and good call with Armageddon. Thread scared the bejesus out of me. We will get to that.
Uh-huh.
I was hoping that Damnation Alley would pop up in homage to Stringfellow Hawk, but hey who. Anyways, Laurie, Wyndham, probably spelt that wrong. Both of them, actually. And James.
He
Keep
spelled
up-
James wrong.
He got James right.
Oh, right, well
Keep
done.
up the good work, Terry.
Oh, thank you,
Yay!
Terry. Good email.
Email.
Don't agree with anything he said, except for the bit about getting the interview. That'd be great. All right, so should we have a bit of news then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you not do that?
Well, I've already done it once. I don't want to do it again.
Okay.
Doing it again.
Hi, hon. How's it going?
Yeah, I've got a little bit.
Go on.
Rather excitingly, Jim Jarmusch of, I don't know if you've ever seen any of his films, hopefully you have. Down by Law, Mystery Train, Ghost Dog, Dead Man, no?
No.
Really great films. All of those 4 films, fantastic. He's proper good.
What's happened
Jim
to him?
Jarmusch, bit of an indie kind of American filmmaker.
Okay.
But he's making a zombie flick called The Dead Don't Die, which...
Oh, it's got an all-star cast, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that looks really cool. That's coming out in a minute in July. So it's boasting, like you say, about the cast. You've got Tom Waits in there. You know Tom Waits?
Stop asking me questions that I don't know the answer to.
Tom Waits is a major dude. Iggy Pop. You know Iggy
Yeah,
Pop?
I know who he is.
Yeah.
Now.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, start
Yeah.
with these people.
Selma
and then-
Gomez, Adam Driver.
Are you going to ask me if I
Tilda
know all of the
Swinton.
cast?
Yes. Anyway, so that's going to be cool.
Well,
so
it
yeah.
might be. It might be cool.
No,
Can
it will be cool.
Americans be funny?
What?
Well,
Can Americans be funny?
in the way that Shaun of the Dead's very funny because it's got that British quirkiness to
It'd
it.
be different, but it can still be
Different funny.
And having seen the trailer, I think Bill Murray and
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver's patter between them.
I'm thinking
I think
zombies.
that's gonna. I think that's gonna work.
Okay.
He's really deadpan, and then you've got Bill Murray's deadpan. I think it's gonna be worth a watch.
Yeah.
that
Last
looks
time I
cool.
saw Bill Murray was shit.
What was that then?
Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, behave. Come on. Well,
What?
But the time before that, he was in Zombieland, and he was great.
I didn't see that. But the time before that, he was in Lost in Translation. I found it very boring.
But the time before that,
you knew that was going to
All right, Win, you got any news?
No.
Oh, to
I've
me.
got more
Well, I've
news.
got. It's my turn.
All right.
All right. So Sonic the Sonic the Hedgehog, the trailer.
Yeah.
Pikachu Detective, yes.
Look, hold on a
Sonic,
minute.
no.
Hold on a minute.
Give his news, yeah.
Yeah, stop interrupting.
All right.
All right. So the trailer's arrived. Have you seen it?
I
Either
have.
of you?
It's
Okay.
got Jim Carrey in it as well, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you think?
It's for kids, isn't it?
Of course it is. But
Hey!
my point is, hold on. You can't go from one side to the other side. Stop just being.
No, I'm not talking about Sonic, but...
Well, my question is, have there ever been any good films made from a video game? Could you name a few? So
Well, Tron came before
that's
the
not.
actual
That
video
doesn't count.
game, didn't
That
it?
doesn't count.
Um,
I'm going to say Wreck-It Ralph, which I think is a great film.
That wasn't a video game first.
Was it not?
It was a movie about a video game.
Wreck-It Ralph...
But the other games in it were real games. Are you sure Wreck-It Ralph wasn't a game?
Wreck-It Ralph wasn't a game.
Oh, damn. All right, go on then. Oh, what was that one where they all fight on the street? Street Fighter.
Street Fighter was a game, and it was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider
No,
was
it was
a game and a terrible movie.
Brilliant game, though.
They also had... They've made Mortal Kombat as well, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so.
They don't do well.
I'm not doing well with your question. However, games that I'd love to see. I'd love to see R-Type. I'd like to see Wipeout.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
No.
Great game, terrible film.
Yeah.
So I think, well, my question's good actually. My question was, have they ever made a good movie
Did
from a
you
video
see-
game?
Doom, no.
Did you see in the I don't know whether it was there were preview showings or whether it was just based on the trailer, but there's been a massive backlash about how Sonic looks.
With his teeth.
And basically, whoever the director is, can't remember. Whoever the director is, Jeff Fowler,
Yeah.
Ah.
Thank God for that.
has said he's heard, understood, and they're going to go back and
Whoa!
You shouldn't be allowed to do
rework
that.
Sonic.
You shouldn't be allowed to do that, though, should you?
Just live and die by the sword.
Well, once you made it, it's like you can't go and like say you make a picture, painting.
So that
But if
coffee
you
cup
did it
will remain
digitally,
forever in that
you
Game
could.
of Thrones episode.
Well, it should do, I think. Yeah, because
But if you were solely in a digital format, then you could go and change it.
I suppose so. But then you could change anything.
That's true.
And-
There's no creative integrity.
Well, George
It's
Lucas did that when it was the first 3 Star Wars, and we all went to see it.
Oh,
Probably.
fucking hell, yes he did.
This is just
Silly dick.
We're at a populist time.
I think we should just leave once you've
We
done
should
it.
just accept-
Move
Have
on.
you heard this story? I can't remember the name of the actual artist, but there was this really famous painting up in the Louvre, and
Mona Lisa.
something like that. And then one day, this old boy just turns up and starts freaking like painting on it. And they're like, Jesus, all the security guards like, "Wah!" wrestle him down, arrest him. And he's like, I hadn't finished it.
Who was his painting?
Yeah. He just wouldn't leave it alone, the little dick.
But he didn't.
Like
But did he own it?
Ridley Scott. Just leave it alone, Ridley. Like George Lucas. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ridley Scott has left it alone.
No, he hasn't left Blade Runner alone. He keeps dicking around.
Well-
Deckard is not a replicant. Full stop. Anyway,
No, but
more news.
you're talking about sequels. That's different. I wouldn't know because I don't know anything
I was
about
talking
Blade Runner.
about George Lucas messing around with the original 3.
All right. Well, so in answer to my question, no.
Thanks.
All right, your turn.
Midsommar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's a film
I
called
imagine not.
Midsommar. Again, I think it's out in July. the same director as Hereditary, which you guys saw.
Yeah.
And you quite like some bits of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so it's got a little bit of a buzz behind it. So anyway, that's something that's coming out in a minute. Could be worth a watch. The director, what's his name? Ari Aster. It looks like this kind of culty, satanistic kind of thing again. You've got like the high school kids.
She's a one-trick pony.
Getting bought into it.
A young woman reluctantly joins her boyfriend on a summer trip to a Swedish festival where things quickly go awry.
Yeah. I think it might be quite good. And I've only seen the trailer.
Will Poulter in it.
But the aesthetic of it is really, normally on a horror film you've got quite a dark aesthetic. This is really bright, saturated, bright sunlight, whites and all that. And you've got horror going on in that kind of aesthetic. So could be interesting.
And on IMDb, it gives you a little ranking of the things you might take offence at in a red, amber, green approach.
Yeah.
Sex and nudity, red, severe. Severe sex
and nudity.
Severe nudity.
Damn those culty sadists and their sex and nudity.
Violence and
Mind
gore,
you,
severe.
Hold on a minute. He had severe sex and nudity in Hereditary. Well, he certainly had
severe nudity.
Well, it was severe nudity at the end of Hereditary.
I
When
was watching the Larry.
all those old people running around naked.
Severe nudity would be
Well, that
like
was severe. I thought that was severe.
Seeing the actual belly. You know what I mean? Like retracted out.
Retracted.
Retracted.
Is it like?
Well, you wouldn't retract
Does yours
the-
work like
the
a
actual
dolphin's? Like comes out.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh,
You'd
really.
see it a lot more if it did. Anyway, It Chapter 2, that's coming out in September. And I'll keep talking about
It's
that.
not your turn.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Trailer looks
I've
good.
got some news.
Go on.
So It 2 comes out in September. Trailer looks good.
Trailer looks good. So they did something different with that trailer, didn't they? They kind of give you a whole scene.
Yeah.
You sit down with the old woman, it's like, is this really the trailer?
Yes, may I help you?
I used to live here.
Won't you come in? It's the least I can do. Is it like you remember?
Cleaner.
Well, you feel free to look around while I get the water boiling.
Your hair is winter fire. January embers. My heart burns there too.
I was always Daddy's little girl. What about you? Are you still his little girl, Beverly? Are you?
Well, they call it a teaser trailer, don't they?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. The more I get removed from it, this new version, the more I hanker for the old one, really. Because I was watching that new bit with the old
old
woman,
girl.
and I loved that bit with Beverly Marsh, and
Oh, I need to see it again. The
Yeah.
original. I can't remember.
Anyway.
I've never seen it.
You got any more news?
Ooh,
You've never seen the original? Mind you, I don't know. I'm surprised you haven't seen any of the films we do.
don't know.
You had a film quiz a minute ago, didn't you?
At work.
What,
on
film
Friday.
set?
Oh yeah, how did you do with them?
My team won.
How many questions? Did you say there were 4 questions?
No. So there were 8 rounds.
Oh, right, okay.
One of them was film and TV. And one of the first question was, who is Nicholas something Coppola, better known as?
Francis Ford Coppola.
No, it's Nicolas Cage.
Nicholas Cage. Yeah.
Damn it.
Got that one. That was nice and easy.
Wasn't that easy?
1962 film starred James Dean and Faye Dunaway. Straight away.
Rebel Without a Cause.
No.
James
Not-
Dean.
All right, hold on. We're not
Not
doing a
James.
quiz. We're not going to go through all the
doesn't matter.
questions. Let's do it
Anyway,
later.
got 5 out of 5.
All right.
Well done. That's because you're on this.
Is it exactly?
You're in this lighthouse.
Learn.
It's nice down on this level, by the way.
Yeah, do you like it? We opened up the window so it's nice and
Who's
bright.
looking though? No one.
No one's looking. It's daytime. You don't need to, do you? Fucking hell.
Oh yeah.
And
You tell me that now. How long have we been here, you fuckers?
that's why we always say we'll do the day shift.
Motherfuckers.
Right, and I've got one last bit of news. So I went to see the Frank Sidebottom exhibition at the Manchester Library, and it's just a beautiful piece of work. The more I get to know about this man, so do you know who he is?
Absolute
Because
legend.
I've asked quite a few people, and not about 50-50 know who he is. And from when I was growing up, he was always there on TV.
Number
but,
73.
yeah, but then I was a massive fan of the Oink comic, which he had a page in.
Oh, did
and
he?
all his and there's a documentary called Being Frank, which is definitely worth a watch. You can get it on Amazon. And he was one of these guys who did everything himself. So it was on the cusp of video, and he just used to cut these handmade videos for individuals and then post them to them. And he did all the artwork, all the bits himself. And he never had any money. He was an addict.
Too busy spending it on toys.
Yeah, and other things. And he left. He died a pauper. And so he was going to have a pauper's funeral, and then his fans clubbed together and buried him. But seeing his head in a cage, not his Chris Seavey's head, but Frank Sowerbottom's in a glass box. Yeah. It's quite nice, really.
He's really is something. I mean, you have iconic figures. John Lennon, Jesus.
Anyone in between?
Dexter Carrington.
From Dynasty?
Yeah, from him. And then you have...
Blake Carrington.
No, this that's it. No, honestly, Frank Sidebottom is just an absolute icon legend. And the stuff he did in the... you can tell he's an addict. He's addicted to pop culture and just creativity, and it's sad obviously what happened to him. I tweeted him. We were following each other on Twitter. I tweeted him on the day he passed away, sadly. But no, he is...
Did you ask him how he was?
Well, yeah, I did. I said, I hope you're feeling better, man. And he died. So anyway,
Talk about putting your foot in it. Hope you're well.
But yeah,
no, I'm dead.
He's super cool. So you like that, right? Good exhibition.
Oh yeah, I loved it. All right, so
one little bit more news. Okay, I'll carry on.
Go on, no, do it now.
I just at the Star Wars convention that happened earlier on in May. Actually, could have been the month before. No, it was in May. They announced that they're doing like a TV sort of Star Wars thing called The Mandalorian.
Another TV series. We've already got a TV series that's about to drop.
Yeah,
Star
that's
Wars
The Mandalorian.
Right, well, we've talked about that extensively.
Have we?
Yeah.
I think it looks really cool.
And they're making 3 more Star Wars films.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Anything else?
No, I've got no more news. I'll just shut the fuck up.
All right. Let's do the beam, shall we? All right, so who's got... Wyndham, do you want to kick us off with your In the Beam choice?
You know what? I'm in two minds as to whether to say I have one or not.
He's now being visually weird.
So I'm in two minds, so I may not.
All right.
No.
Go on, what?
The new Avengers movie.
Right.
Just as a draw a line under it. It's 3 and a bit hours long.
Yeah.
It attempts to tie things together. There are some fairly large plot holes in it. But it doesn't feel like 3 hours, and at the end of it you kind of go, okay.
Do you know what? I have gone through and watched over the years now nearly, I'd say about 98% of the Marvel films.
Right.
And
98%?
And I think I missed 1 or 2. And most of the time I've been really happy with them, thought they were all really good films. I suddenly can't be bothered now.
No,
so I'm not going to bother watching it.
And I think this one
you got right to the end game, girl.
I know, can't be bothered. I knew what happened. And I knew I knew the thing that was going to happen in Iron Man 1. It was obvious, you know.
Okay.
Or maybe the Avengers one.
Right.
Anyway.
I'm not gonna tinker around with that one because it sounds like you got something in there. So I won't.
Anyway.
But as a draw a line under it, put it to bed.
They can't put it to bed. This is
No,
a
they won't,
constant.
No, but they have.
Monster.
They have put it to bed, and now there's going to be a new phase.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a reimagining.
Okay.
Yeah. A bit like Star Wars.
Yeah. Right. I was really impressed with Spider-Man Ultra.
Is that your In the Beam choice?
Thing. That's Sony.
Is that your In the Beam choice?
No.
All right then. What's your In the Beam? We can't talk about that.
Mine's actually. I've just suddenly dawned upon me. I'm going to say that. Oh no.
Flipping out. Right, I'm going to do my In the Beam choice while we're waiting. I'm going to choose Dark Shadows that I watched just last night. Actually, the Tim Burton, Johnny Depp film.
Oh yeah.
Oh
now,
no, where's the vampire?
I've never watched it because I've always heard reviews that it's a bit shit.
I started watching it and didn't get through it.
I just thought it was. The reason I liked it is because it was quite funny. You know, so once you get through the bit that he obviously comes back as a vampire, and he's been locked in the box for 200 years, and he sees the car coming towards him. What is this beast of Satan? And he's got a bit of a daft voice, but it is very humorous. And I didn't notice that's Helena Bonham Carter until right at the end of the film.
Of course, it was.
I know she's
brilliant.
always in
It's
it.
a Tim Burton film. You crazy.
I know, but I
nuts.
forgot. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it had lots of humour, and it was quite a nice distraction, really.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll go back and I'll give it a bit more time.
Great. With the Laurie.
I'm gonna put in my beam. I think. I did actually recently see the Return of the Living Dead, but I'm not gonna put that one in. Really good film though. I might say
I love Return of the Living Dead.
They'll Love Me When I'm Dead, which is basically it's like a documentary.
People are on the
came
fence
out
about
a
that.
couple of years ago. It's about Orson Welles.
Oh, okay.
Apparently he said they'll love me when I'm dead, but apparently he didn't, kind of thing. Blah blah blah. But it's kind of around the sort of last 15 years of his life. It actually goes into the whole of his career, really, and kind of he was making this film called The Other
Which
Side
one
of
is
the
it?
Wind.
The whole of his career, or 15 years?
It's you've got a lot of footage of the last sort of 15
Is it a
years.
documentary?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's basically all about him trying to make this film called The Other Side of the Wind. All right, which he thought would be his kind of real comeback to Hollywood. However, the more you learn about Orson Welles, you kind of forget. He made Citizen Kane, arguably one of the best films.
Very arguably, because I find it quite dull.
It's a fucking good film.
It's all right.
It's a very, very good film. It's his first film. He was 25 years old, but I won't go on about it. Everyone else does already. But yeah, you just kind of get reminded watching it. He was just a real naughty, innovative. And yeah, that's it. Challenging, kind of independent, creative kind of power force. Doing his own thing, really, not shackled by Hollywood. And that was kind of his kind of battle, really. But that's a very good film. They'll Love Me When I'm Dead.
And when was that film? When was he trying to make his last film? When did he die?
He can't remember.
Okay. All right.
80s. Can't remember.
No, so quite late then.
Early 80s.
All right. Should we move on to On the Rocks?
Yeah.
Love on the rocks. Ain't no surprise.
All right. Laurie, kick us off. Anything awful? Anything terrible that you've seen that you're going to...
Again, it's a very tricky one. Could I say I've been lucky? But then again, I will bring something, I think. It's
You
probably
don't have to.
It's half On the Rocks. I'm going to say I'm cheating as well. It's not a film.
Yeah.
Say Line of Duty. It's just... Shut up.
Yeah.
They're mucking around and this, that and the other and that there and this. It's
I
like,
just can't be bothered.
Stop it.
Isn't it just
it
like
is good.
Spooks?
It's good. I don't think so. I've never seen Spooks.
Okay. Will be
This is
some...
a TV series, right?
Yeah.
It's a
Have you
TV
not seen it
series.
either?
Right,
Yeah.
we haven't got into it.
But it's by the BBC.
I thought you were going to say we haven't got the television.
We have got television.
I can
I
never...
do know everything that's happened on it because I quite like Gogglebox, and Gogglebox doesn't worry about giving you spoilers, so you just get to see the most.
I like to read the
pivotal
TV
points.
guide. Okay, fair enough. What about you, Wim?
I watched Mortal Engines.
Oh,
Right, okay.
yeah, Peter Jackson
looks
fart
really-
in a
Oh,
jacuzzi.
yeah.
So it's about
I told you it's...
post-apocalyptic cities are mobile and they're devouring and it's an adaptation of a series of books, and it feels very much like they just crammed it all in. I don't know whether it is the whole story into one film, but the kind of character arcs just feel like they're missing whole areas of development. And
Right.
They just bounce to.
Because as we know, Peter Jackson can't do drama or
No,
character.
whoa. No, this is interesting because it's almost like Peter Jackson saying, "What? Everyone's banging on about me stretching out the Hobbit too much. Okay, have it like this then, you
Yeah.
shits."
And it doesn't work.
No,
It
I
doesn't
think
work.
it's more that Peter Jackson can go and speak to any producers and say, I want to do this, and they go, okay. As opposed to someone going, what, city's moving around? Don't be fucking stupid.
No, see that bit.
See in
I quite
London
liked.
Walking.
Oh, okay.
The basis.
Were
of
they
the
like
world,
tripods?
I quite like. No, they're on big caterpillar tracks.
Oh, okay.
But the basis of the world, I kind of go, all right, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
It was all the crappy character.
Yeah.
Lack
He's
of-
shit
lack
at
of
it. It's
genuine
terrible.
character development.
All right.
How's Moving Castle? I think it was the first time I ever saw that idea of a walking kind of town or city or whatever it was. How's Moving Castle? So it was a castle, obviously, walking around. Very cool walk.
Noah's Ark. That was the first one I saw.
It didn't walk, though, did it?
Floated.
Didn't float.
Noah's Ark didn't float.
Oh, yeah. You pointed to the sky and
Have
thrust
you-
your pen
have you
across the
seen-
sky. You took me up there.
Have you seen Noah,
You
by the way?
little naughty one.
Have you seen Noah?
Oh, with Russell Crowe. It's supposed to be really great.
It's awful.
But no, if you apparently...
It puts,
no.
it
If
puts
you tune
rock
your
monsters
mi-
into the Bible.
Exactly. If you tune your mind into the
So at the start, there's a load of rock monsters that come around, which
Yeah.
is, well, that does not happen in
What's
the
a
Bible.
rock monster?
A monster made of rocks.
The Bible
Huh?
is a wonderful work of beautiful fiction.
Or fact.
And and then if you tune your mind into this, it's basically just a silly fantasy sci-fi fiction thing. Then apparently it's supposed to be quite.
No,
good.
it's stupid. It really is. I've
I
seen
think
it.
it's 5.8 on IMDb.
Yeah.
That is.
They're just.
Well, that
tuning
just goes
the
to
wrong
show that
frequency.
actually Laurie does not have a good taste in films.
I've never seen it.
All right, my choice is The Machinist by Christian Bale.
Okay.
I kind of know what you
Oh,
mean. Yeah.
do you know what? It was like, look, here's my acting. Look how thin I can get. And the plot, I think we'll talk about this later, actually, when we're reviewing one of the films. But it was just so obvious and just thought it was so clever, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was predictable and slow and
This is
stupid.
where he is super skinny. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Emaciated himself.
Yeah, well, anybody could do
He's
that.
said-
He
This-
survived on a Starbucks coffee and an apple a day when he was filming that.
Yeah.
I'm currently fasting. And I thought, yeah, piece of piss. Because
For Ramadan.
No,
For
I'm not going full Rami.
Right.
But
I don't know if you can call it that.
Rami Dammer?
I don't
Rami
think-
Dam?
No, none of those.
Damn.
Stop it.
Let's just crack
Move on.
You're feasting. Fasting.
Twatting. What? Why are you fasting? You doesn't.
Well, this is it.
Doesn't look like it.
To address my muffins. I'm just a little bit of
Try doing a bit of exercise.
And what are you doing?
Oh,
5'2"?
fuck that. I haven't got time for exercise. And apparently, when you do, your body... So I thought, like I say, I thought it was going to be a piece of piss. Because I eat like a carrot when I go on normal work days. But now I've gone into this, you've got this app and you've got to fast till this time, that and the other. So I've done this cold water dive. And I've found hunger. Well, I've experienced proper hunger. And you go a bit weird. It drives you a bit mental.
Is it to do with? Oh, no, I'm not
Anyway,
even getting into
blah,
it.
blah, blah.
Right,
So, yeah,
stop,
let's wait.
stop. All right,
Quick one about Christian Bale.
not really got any time.
Well, no, because he was a really young guy. He got Empire of the Sun.
Yeah.
That gig. Massive gig. Huge awards. Steven
Yeah, we've
Spielberg.
seen it.
Da, da, da. Incidentally, do you know who wrote
Oh, flipping
Empire of
that.
the Sun?
Do you
That
know?
was autobiography, well, based on his own life. The writer.
Do you know what?
of
I'm
Crash.
going to write a load of questions that
Tom
you don't know
Stoppard
the answer
wrote
to.
the screenplay.
Yeah, thank you, Wyndham. That's who I
No,
was
but
about to say.
the book, the book. Was...
All right, Armageddon.
No, because
The music's coming now.
I know it is, but I wanted to say because he had that such a big gig, he's always felt oppressed by that film, so he feels like he has to
What,
live
Batman?
up to his first film.
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins is good.
It's a great film.
Batman Begins is the
Yeah, that's the one that he wiped the slate clean.
American
That's
And
my
Psycho.
favourite.
bloody Heath Ledger came along and ruined it all for him by being better than him in Batman 2.
He was quite good.
Oh,
And
God.
He did get to be the best of the weirdos.
The
in
best
the
of
third
Bat
one.
Worlds.
What was the third one? Batman Rises? No.
Rise Again or something. Yeah, Rise.
Bane,
Rise
Bane,
Batman.
you can't hear what I'm saying because I've got a big mask on my face.
Yeah, in my opinion, Batman Begins was really, really good, and they got progressively worse. It almost felt like Chris Nolan was embarrassed. Of
I think
making
it's
a
gone
Batman
slowly
film.
downhill since the 60s.
That's a fair point.
But let's not forget Ben Affleck came back and it kind of rose it up again.
And Robin Patterson's just taken the new Batman. Some late news out. Yeah.
Cedric Diggory?
Yeah, Cedric did. Oh yeah, did he play the vampire in?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
Twiglet.
one. Yeah, I like the fact that Wyndham doesn't believe my news sources.
Wow.
I don't.
See, I like Batman.
Anyway.
I'll wait, I'll think.
Armageddon. Wyndham, what film would you have chosen, by the way?
I chose these two.
No, if you'd had
You
it
didn't
your
choose
own
these
pick.
two. Oh yeah, no, you did. Sorry.
Oh, I have given that no thought whatsoever.
That's okay. It's a new question I've added in, so make sure you all remember that for next time. All right, so shall I give you some information about Armageddons?
Go for it.
All right, so this is definition. In the New Testament, the last battle between good and evil before the day of judgment. The place where the Armageddon will be fought. A dramatic and catastrophic conflict, especially one seen as likely to destroy the world or the human race. As in nuclear Armageddon.
Australia, 3 points.
On TV, so popular Armageddon stories on TV. The Handmaid's Tale, kind of. Well, I don't think so.
Dystopia, but
It's Armageddon for women, not so much for men. The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Why don't they just rot into nothing?
Stop it about your zombie problem.
The Rain on Netflix. The film The Rain. Yeah.
No.
Mr. Robot. Not
No.
Black.
Black Beauty?
Half Black Mirror.
Right.
Last Man on Earth. The 100 Colony.
What about Prince of Darkness?
Yeah.
What about Damnation Alley?
There's loads.
Yes,
And
Tyrone.
Legend with Will Smith. Is it Legend?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. That's
Right, I couldn't.
That's quite good. I quite enjoyed that.
Couldn't find any music choices for Armageddon this month, so I left it out.
Someone like Metallica or Megadeth.
Yeah, well, there was a top 5 Armageddon songs, and they were all like, oh, bloody
Death
hell,
metal.
yeah.
Wasn't there a Carpenter?
Okay.
One? No? Carpenter?
No, not really. Who died?
Armageddon out of here.
Who died? Everybody.
Everybody.
And that's it.
Surely the
Yeah.
Avengers is slightly Armageddon. Oh no, it's only half of everybody. Does Armageddon have to wipe out humanity?
Well, no, because they've been able to tell
It's
the
like
story.
a major fuck in the air.
I'd
basically.
say anything
Major.
up to
Yeah.
and including 83%. Because there's a tipping point. And I think when Captain Trips went across his way in the popular Stephen King book, The Stand,
Right.
I think
Yeah, that's
it was
another
about
one.
4/5 of the population.
The Stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Of the population
I think so.
83 then.
No, but he got it a bit wrong.
Okay.
All right, so just a minute on the films that got away. It's a bit, I know you both aren't that keen on War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I didn't pick them.
No.
But I thought visually it looked really good.
There's some really great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tripods are great. The red weed is
Yeah.
really awesome. Yeah,
I
you're
thought
right.
he acted quite well in it.
Yeah, and he
Who
always
could
does,
knew he
he
could
always
move that
puts in a good
crane
turn.
as well as he could.
Well, you know what Tom's like. He fucking crammed that in.
Do
for
you
months
think he
and
can reach the
months.
pedals?
I reckon he probably does have little blocks, bless him.
And-
Couple of yellow pages on his feet.
And Prince of Darkness.
And Prince of Darkness, yeah. So we've currently covered 2. So we've done
I
The
don't know
Thing,
Prince of Darkness.
and we've
Could
done
Yeah.
In the Mouth of Madness.
So this
We've
was.
done the 2 bookends.
So this is Carpenter's trilogy, is it?
So the one in the middle is Prince of Darkness, yeah. So that's his Armageddon.
Why is it a trilogy? Oh, because they're all about to wipe the human race out.
Basically, there's no conscious link between any of them. But obviously,
right,
Carpenter
great.
sat back one day and went, "Oh wait a
It's
minute,
got,
they're all about the end of the world."
It's got Egg from Big Trouble in Little China in it as well.
Yes, it has. Yeah,
Victor
Chan.
Wong.
Yeah. Wang. No, was it Wang or Channel?
Oh,
I forgot.
please don't, Laurie, with your terrible,
My wang
terrible
and my
interpretation. Well,
Is it
you
my
just-
Wang? Look, is it my Wang or my Chang?
Right, the first film we're going to look at this month, is going to be Threads. All right, so before we get on to that happy little tale, let's have a clip.
When you hear the attack warning, you and your family must take cover at once. Here is a reminder of what the air attack warning sounds like. This is the sound. Nobody can tell where the safest place will be. You are far better off at home. Stay where you are.
Vimeo.
All right, so shall I give you some facts about Threads?
Go for it.
It was released in 1984. The director was Mick Jackson from a screenplay by Barry Hines. There was a budget of $400,000. Didn't win any Oscars. The film was nominated for 7 BAFTA awards.
Absolutely.
It won for Best Single Drama, Best Design, Best Film Cameraman, and Best Film Editor. Its other nominations were for Best Costume Design, Best Makeup, Best Film Sound. No sequels and spin-offs, obviously, because everyone dies. Notable actors.
The guy from Home to Roost.
Let's have
Reese Dinsdale.
Karen Meager, Ruth Beckett, Reese Dinsdale, Jimmy Kemp, David Brearley, Bill Kemp, Rita May, Rita Kemp, Nicholas Lane, Michael Kemp, Jane Hazelgrove, Alison Kemp, and Paul Vaughan as the narrator.
There's quite a few
And
Kemps in
there's lots of others in there, including a young Leslie Judd as a TV
Ford.
newsreader. Yeah, loads. All right, so what do you think, guys?
Oh, it was just exactly what I needed late in an evening on a day that had been quite tough at work. Yeah, I'll just sit down and watch Threads. That'd be lovely. It's quite heavy going.
Yeah. I was feeling a bit low that day anyway, and it was Bank Holiday Monday, and I sat down and watched it, and oh my God. I've seen it before. I saw it the first time about 5 years ago, but I think I must have been quite drunk and happy, because I don't remember it being as bleak as that. And I was like, oh my Lord.
It just look, because is it based in the 70s?
No, I think it's because it focused very much
Yeah.
on the Cold War, doesn't it, and the
Yeah.
kind of global events.
It just looked bleak anyway.
No, this is just beautiful.
All right,
Life was
did
simpler back
we
then.
think it was a good film? I think that's the question to
Right,
ask.
am I allowed to... I'm going to say I've never ever seen it before in my life.
Yeah.
And was I in any desperate rush to go and see it? Absolutely not, because I knew what it was about and I knew it was a heavy deal. And then thankfully you picked it and you chose it. And fucking hell, wow. It's, it has got that, where you say it's that time quality. So, this is probably filmed in 83, I suppose?
Yeah.
Because it came out, it aired on the BBC in 84 of September.
It's very brave of the BBC as well. Because if you
it's
think about what
amazing.
was going on at the time, people were getting
amazing.
these leaflets at home saying,
amazing.
in case of nuclear war,
Yeah, so it's 2 years before.
definitely go under a door, because that's
Yeah.
going to solve your problems,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it was what, 2 years before When the Winds Blow?
Yeah, it would have been like that.
So
Yeah.
it was that kind of
Yeah.
time where everybody knew they were going to be melted to ash.
Oh my Lord.
But, yeah, so... oh, shit.
I think everyone should watch this at school. And maybe
Do you know
world
what?
leaders.
Do you know what?
This is the
I
thing.
just genuinely was sat there thinking, this is contemporary.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to
Yeah.
say.
Even to the point that
Yeah.
it starts and is focusing on issues with Iran.
Yeah.
You look at
Yeah.
the world today, and that's all kicking off again.
Yeah.
And you just think people. I don't think. I think everybody has this kind of distance from this kind of event. When back in the 80s.
Well, we haven't got a memory of war. We've seen war on TV,
Yeah.
but the only war that's ever touched the sides around here is terrorism, and that's
Yeah.
you're
It's a
more
different-
chance of winning the lottery, haven't you?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
So that's exactly what I wanted to say. So basically, I know it was filmed in 1983, but they sort of deliberately don't make a year. So they always give you the day. So the 3rd of July or whatever.
Oh, right,
You
okay.
get that sort of documentary kind of feel. But they pointedly never ever give you the
Do
year.
you think the technology
Because-
decor gives it away a bit?
Well, of course, the cars give it away. The milk bottles give it away. The dialect gives it away.
How many tins of cold beef have you got?
Yeah, exactly. But when that aired in 1984, that was present day. That's it. And the amazing thing is, though, it completely does transcend. It's beautiful and cute, and that's kind of what I held on to. That was my comfort blanket.
What was
because
beautiful and cute?
Because I had the nostalgia. I was like, oh yeah, I love those days. I grew up in the 80s, man. I grew up in the 80s. I recognise those sounds. Meow, meow, meow. You get lots of that. You get Tomorrow's World theme tunes start playing at one little point. So they're my kind of little comfort blankets. Whilst subtly, you're following these characters through what's going on, but they're on the radio. Fucking Russia's not happy with the US. It kind of bleeds in.
Yeah.
And they're kind of carrying on with their business. Oh, I'm pregnant. No, look at those birds over there. Let's go have a chat.
Well,
lovely.
There's
There's
three sections to this film. Oh, I see it. So you've got pre, during, post.
Yeah.
Very
So
well done.
I thought the amount of tension and the way they lifted the tension and just got you into the characterisation enough, because you didn't really link with a lot of people, was just the right amount,
I did.
really.
I really did.
Well, which people?
All of them. The blonde daughter.
Yeah, but I'm
Michael,
saying there was
the
only about
son.
5. You didn't really. I mean,
No, I
Michael
did,
didn't
yeah,
do
yeah.
much.
Yeah,
Mind
he
you,
played on his
he's
computer
about the
game.
same age as your boy, so.
Well, yeah, and also that was me. That was roughly my age back then.
Were you
Okay.
with the pigeons?
Canaries. My granddad did have a canary aviary. Similar birds as well, but he had some yellows too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So the obvious question: survival of such an event.
Yeah.
Yes or
Would
no?
you want to?
God, not if it's like that. No, fucking hell. Eating the bit with the sheep.
Yeah.
All right, I know we're jumping around a bit, but
Loads.
yeah, let's stick at the start, and then
Okay.
we'll get back to that. But I thought the way that they used news footage, were very effective. The way the radio kept intruding and nobody paying attention. That again, like you were saying,
And everybody
exactly.
was flicking it over.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Just move on.
But that's
And
what
this-
we would do, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. But this life-ending event is brewing.
I thought it was very clever that they had 2 strands, or maybe 3 strands, I suppose. So you had your working class family,
Yeah.
who basically got told to hide behind a door.
Yeah.
You got your middle class family who had the luxury of having a cellar, and then you had, I suppose, the government
Yeah.
represented by
Who got
the town
shelter.
hall. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you meet all these characters, you see all these characters very much for that kind of realistic, naturalistic kind of direction, fly on the wall kind of experience.
I think it's one of the bravest things the BBC ever did.
It
was for BBC.
so
It definitely
good.
was the BBC. Yeah.
I'm completely blown away about
check that, 'cause
how
I
good
wasn't
this
sure
is.
if it was.
100% it's the BBC. 100%.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
think it's one of the bravest things they ever did, because
It's wonderful.
even like things like, I don't know. I mean, again, when it happens, for a start, the makeup and the effects, but
Woof.
then the
Yeah,
mother
yeah.
going out and finding a dead boy under the pile of bricks, and
Yeah.
you know,
It really gets you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But like what you say about the effects, it's because they actually use a lot of actual real images of
Yeah.
people that have been really done over by fucking arseholes, basically, and then into effects as well. But they're like the burning bodies and stuff like that. It's so realistic. It's really quite disturbing.
And if you think about it being, what, 1984,
Yeah.
you know, you've got, like, really clever little juxtaposition. So you've got the little kid playing on the thing, and that's like a war game,
Little
isn't it?
computer game.
And then you've
Oh,
got
no,
him...
it's just a running game. He's running away from a blob.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah.
thought it was like a...
No.
No,
okay.
he's just running.
And then he's there with the Airfix aeroplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was really pleased to see his glue application was as shit as mine, because I used to think I was the worst, but he was well shit. He didn't glue himself to it, which I always did.
All right.
But yeah, but you know, back to the 1984 thing. So this is actually of that time when this really was a threat to us. You know,
Well, as Wynn said, it is. I put it at terrifying now. It's exactly the same
America
now, really.
and Russia, but no, this is the closest I think we've got for a in early.
You do know what's
80s.
happening in Iran and America at the moment.
I'm turning the radio over. I'm watching.
Right, so
watching-
you're exactly like those
Exactly,
people.
Exactly. But so yeah, this time in history where America and Russia stockpiling nukes. It was only in 1983 did UK agree to house US nuclear weapons as well. So we allowed them into
So,
the scope. So we
hold on.
become part of the narrative.
So, Alden, so
So
you're
the
turning
BBC
away from current affairs, but you're lecturing us about what it's like in 1984.
No, but I'm just saying
'Cause it's-
that this kind of came out when you said it should have been aired in schools. Effectively, kind of that's I think was the ethic of what
I
the
said
BBC
that.
were doing. What the BBC were doing.
I
is that
certainly
people
didn't watch
need
it in
to
school.
know. We know this is
Oh, right,
building
okay.
up. You know, Star Wars is happening. Blah blah blah. We're getting heavier.
Yeah, but hold on a minute.
Have that.
Hold on
But
a
then
minute.
they-
Whoa,
they probably
whoa.
couldn't do this in school, so this is probably
No.
what inspired Where the Wind Blows. to
Hold
get
on.
their kids back.
Hold on. This is not a government initiative by any stretch of the
No, it's
imagination.
the BBC.
No, but you know, you're saying like people need to know about this. the fact, the way, you know, I know the BBC is independent to a certain extent, but the amount it's controlled by the government and society.
I'm not getting into that, but the BBC decided to make.
Well, I'm
this.
getting into it. What I'm saying is, it's a miracle that they got it made, in my opinion.
Oh right, yeah.
You know. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about performances. Win.
I thought they were really good.
Yeah.
I thought they were really natural, as you would expect, and the premise.
They didn't
kind
have
of
to
covered.
do like that.
No, they didn't. But the premise of, but it was important they did,
Yeah.
because it's like these are ordinary people.
It was like a Fly on the Wall documentary, wasn't it?
Everybody has the same challenges. There's those who are going to be made redundant. There are those who are getting pregnant. There are those who are having to deal with God knows what.
Planning for it. The guy that's planning for it. The council dude.
Yeah.
And they were just, it just was really good. And that old Reece Dinsdale, who Home to Roost dude, who plays Jimmy Kemp,
Yeah.
and Ruth, the Karen Meager, who plays Ruth, his
Yeah.
other half. I thought they were great.
I tell you what broke my heart, just the subtlety of the performance after the bomb, and they're down in the cellar.
Yeah.
And the grandmother
The
said,
grandma.
"I'm really sorry, you know, I've had an accident."
Yeah.
And they go, "Don't worry, Mum, don't worry." And it's like, oh my fucking hell! It's like and also how close we are all to, you know, we've got 2 weeks of food, probably in shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How quickly it can go
How
from,
fragile we are.
Yeah.
So that's another spin.
which
on
is
the word.
obviously why it's called Threads.
Yeah. Well, it starts off with.
Well, they
the
say that at the
narrator
start.
Says that we're all connected like fabric. So that was the Threads line.
Like Threads,
But then you
with
could
a
also-
cobweb.
Yeah.
I think we all got that bit.
Yeah, exactly. But then you can also say about the fragility that we are literally hanging on.
How do you think you spell Threads?
I did a
Threads-gility.
Fragility. Is that what I said?
Fred's fragility. It's like you're trying to use wordplay there.
Okay.
All right.
I'm trying to think out loud. That's what I'm trying to do.
For all you Emmerdale Farm listeners, viewers, there's a young Zach Dingle there in the town hall in his string vest, which is a sign of things to come for the future, because he's stuck on his farm.
No muffins though. By the time I'm employed though.
I've got a problem. This is a minor problem. But if we fast forward to like Act 3, the future, and Ruth,
That doesn't happen anymore, does it?
No.
So if I said this to a kid, if I said to like a young kid now, I'm going to fast forward.
Oh yeah,
make
they
any
would,
sense
they
to
would make
you?
any sense, except for cartoons. It probably does it with cartoons. So Ruth, fast forward, she's eating the sheep. She's had a baby.
Yeah.
You think
and-
they're
Those
going
two
to
things
going to
aren't
cook it?
Directly linked.
No, not.
Eating the sheep and then having a
That's,
baby.
I thought that's how it worked.
Yeah.
And then a baby grows up, and
Yeah.
she has a baby. But Ruth's child,
You thought
where
the
did she
baby-
get her fillings done?
She had
Her mouth
fillings,
is
did
full of fillings.
Oh come on! they
Well,
can't
she
do
can't
everything.
even have a child.
Maybe
I thought
that's that. Maybe
for
that's
me
the-
that was the weakest part of it.
what the fillings.
Ruth's interpretation as, you know, playing someone. Really, what they're saying is someone with a learning disability.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, the Ruth's cataracts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know
What
why
was
we
wrong
need.
with it?
Well, I thought her performance was a bit.
What, as Ruth's daughter?
Yeah.
I don't think she's playing some. Well, yeah, maybe someone with.
Well,
learning
I think they
disabilities.
made it. Well,
But also
yeah, maybe.
The limits of education.
The limits of
There is
education.
none.
But I think they said directly before the child's born, I think, the fetus will either be physically or mentally disabled.
Yeah.
And then they kind of made it clear that her language was limited. Because
No,
Ruth
but-
would have been able to, regardless
Absolutely.
of education,
No.
regardless of education,
Just
would
through
have, the
limitation.
language would have been fine. Yeah.
Didn't you notice? So with Threads, basically, like you say, there's three parts, and the part that we're talking about now, she has had a baby after the bomb, and you're kind of like 13 years, I believe, after the event, and it says about the baby could be born disfigured or retarded or whatever, and you expect the baby to, but it seems like the baby's actually all right. And you're now 13 years later. You're kind of back to medieval times.
We're not talking about 30 years later. Yeah.
It's kind of gone back to medieval times, and all the kids are talking in this weird dialect.
No, I
They're
got
talking-
that. I did quite like that. Gizzit.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
that. But she was with Ruth, and unless Ruth had decided to not talk to her,
Yeah.
there would have been a certain level. Anyway, we're picking at things, but I didn't think
Yeah.
the
So you
performance.
think
I don't
she
think
was-
it would have been better to have her as a. Anyway, I don't know.
You think she was a bit?
I do agree. I think the last kind of
You think
5-10
she was a bit-
minutes are like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean,
know the
I did
fiction
like the
is-
fact that it showed the longevity, and it's like this isn't going to get any better anytime soon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just to say,
yeah.
So, Deborah, someone I know dearly, saw this when it was aired in 1984. She was 8 years old. She stayed up with her parents, and she said it made her feel sick as hell.
I'm not surprised. Tell us to write in.
However, she watched it not too long ago, before we even knew it was going to be on this, and we've seen an edited version. So the stuff with the kid and the mum, there's a lot more to that relationship. You see, so. If you felt it didn't quite work, it probably did actually.
Well, do you know what?
maybe work
I'm
a bit
glad it
better.
was. Yeah, maybe. I'm glad it was edited because I thought it was long enough.
Of course you did.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any. I mean, it nailed its points home.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, what else do you need to let us know?
Yeah. I did quite like the Christmas Day religious tableau for the birth.
Oh yeah, the major. I didn't notice that. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Well spotted. Just going back to the effects of when it happened, when the bombs dropped.
Yeah.
That was all in
Finally,
silence, wasn't it? Which I thought was very effective.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and lots of cutting as well in the editing.
Burning bodies
Oh, man.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know how they got it through. You know,
Different time back then, James.
it was. It was before Video Nasties. It's the time when my mum would walk in. I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street. She'd go, "What are you watching that rubbish for?" I'd go,
I think this film was really made with we need to really tell it.
We can't sugarcoat this. It's got to be.
It was made for a reason,
Yeah,
and they're
absolutely.
trying to give us as much as a reason as possible. And as I say, there's a hell of a lot of cutesiness in there that they give you to hold on to.
Where?
Because it's bleak as
"What
shit.
cute? Tell me some cutiness that happened after that bomb."
Because you kind of
No! Don't explain the concept. Tell me where this cuteness is.
because you love
No, where? Give me examples. I don't need you
The
to explain the
characters.
point of cuteness. Go on. Where is the cute characters bit coming in it?
all of the characters you like. They like you. You like.
All
them,
right,
you love
the
them.
ones that go down and smash in the faces of her parents.
Oh, right, okay, not those guys.
Okay.
The characters that you first get. It kind of you. I suppose you got that almost that comfort element, and maybe going back to the fact
So
that
Jimmy, Ruth, and their parents, and
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I
maybe
thought that
going
was.
back to the fact that
but she's fucked off.
nostalgic as well for me. So maybe that's what got me through.
And I love the fact that she had the same coat.
she had the same coat.
So the
For
coat
like
that
13 years.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
that's what would happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, she'd be able to get me.
I thought. Right, what do we think of the effects? I thought the makeup was brilliant, really.
Amazing. Yeah,
Especially the woman who.
And I was genuinely surprised at how good it was.
Yeah, me too.
I was half when it was as good as it was. It made an impression on me. God, yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah. Any other effects or makeup that anyone wants to point out?
I think it's. I don't know if they knowingly did it, but the birth when she's giving birth to the baby, it's like, oh, fucking hell. There's a certain shot where she's holding like her inner thighs, and there's a red bit of fabric, maybe just on her wrist or whatever. But it's just that subtle suggestivity of Is that fucking anything? Suggestiveness of
Suggestion.
Yeah,
suggestion of blood and flesh and birth giving. It's just like
Yeah, because they didn't show much
they did what
blood
they
and
could.
flesh and burning bodies and.
Well, yeah.
Fucking
But
hell.
it's just they're clever. There's a lot of good artistry and cleverness.
What did you think of the music, Laurie?
Well, there was Chuck Berry.
Yeah, there wasn't
So
any. It was a trick question.
I want to break out just a little bit about the atom bomb, just super quick.
Is
that
it
okay?
relevant to the film? Because we're talking about the film, not
It's
the
kind
atom
of
bomb.
relevant to Armageddon and the atomic bomb,
All right, well, go on then.
and it's relevant to the film. So you hear Chuck Berry right at the beginning, and you hear Chuck Berry right at the end. Okay, it's a Chuck Berry song, rock and roll song. I can't remember
Okay.
exactly what it is. Exactly the same song, but bookending it.
Yeah.
And so in 1939, Einstein wrote a letter to President Roosevelt
Yes.
because he basically realised Germany, oh my God, they're messing around with heavy water. Those fuckers are going to figure this piece of shit out. And that's exactly what this atomic fucking bomb is.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. Anyway, so he writes to Roosevelt and says, okay, here's the recipe. So you've got it before those fuckers. 1940.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Look,
I
we are
think it
digressing here.
No,
Come on.
whoa. I've got to get to Chuck Berry.
Yeah,
Wait
go-
until I
hurry
get
up
to
then.
Chuck Berry. So anyway, blah blah blah. Fast forward, 1945, July 16th. There's the first atom bomb successfully split.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you see it in Twin Peaks: The Return. You get this amazing episode, and that's
What
where I
inspired
think
Chuck Berry?
where rock
Where
and
you-
roll came from.
Oh, you
It came from the atom.
Get out. For God's sake. All right. Memorable scenes. Woman holding the dead baby.
Yeah. Oh my god! Any of the
Oh, with the raw sheep for me. It's like, bloody hell.
that guy is a fucking idiot.
Why should he come?
The mate, Jimmy's mate,
Yeah.
who survived.
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, I think you'd be able to taste it. It's been fucking irradiated. What are you talking about? Oh no, it's got wool. It'd be fine."
Well, you're right, but I was kind of thinking more the lines of they're trying to convince themselves that they're not killing themselves because
Exactly.
they're so hungry.
They're eating a dead sheep.
You try going without food for weeks, Win. I don't know why they didn't cook it though. Mind you, they couldn't like it. Anyway,
Memorable scenes.
probably a
She died,
fucking sheep poisoning.
But she didn't. She ate sheep as well.
Yeah, she's
So
out as
maybe-
nails. So she walked out like 10 minutes after the bomb had gone off, and she was all right.
So maybe this is unknowingly shown that actually we just need wool coats.
Yeah. Oh
I
God.
recently got a Russian Navy.
Right,
wool.
memorable scenes.
Probably that first scene of the car right on the edge of the cliff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking over Sheffield.
Nice full
Brilliant.
Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Win.
More of a kind of the bit where the woman loses control of her bladder as the bomb goes off, and it just cuts to
Her
her
pissing
her
herself.
foot, and it's
Okay.
it's just turned to
A
tampon.
major
Yeah,
gush. And
yeah.
obviously that fabric that she's wearing on her trousers is very...
It's non-absorbent.
Yeah.
That is a space.
There was a lot of
Teflon,
nylon,
some description.
poly,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
All right. So, any memorable lines? The only one I've got is I can't remember. I didn't write it all down. I was obviously bored. But I think when they're sitting around going, talking about all the things they want to eat and like toad in the old blah 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 treacle tart, and then the man gets up and goes, "Bastards!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the worst acting ever.
I would say corned beef. Well, I hope it's not from Argentina.
And then just the really pronounced the pronounced difference between the RP pronunciation of anybody in the media
Yeah.
and people in Sheffield.
Yeah.
You just kind of, and then there's the bit where one of the audios is kind of like, if anybody should die in your shelter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that noise, those public awareness sort of sound bites, they choose the most scariest fucking noise, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's chilling as hell.
All right. Look, we've been talking about this for long enough. So, shall we score it?
Yes.
Okay, so just to remind you, we've got 10 categories, and what I do, Laurie, is I ask someone their name, and then they give the score for the category.
All right, okay.
All right, just
Yeah.
in case you get confused by that. So let's start with performances. Wyndham,
7.
Laurie,
8.
9 for me. Laurie, effects,
8.
9.
8.
Plot, 9. Win.
6.
9.
Rewatch factor, Wyndham,
0.
5.
2. Direction, Laurie,
I think 8.
9.
8.
Cinematography, I've given it an 8.
I've given it a 7.
8.
Sound of Music, Wyndham.
7.
Well, there wasn't any. Except
was
for Chuck
sound.
Perry. Oh, yeah, there was sound, actually. Yeah, you're right.
There was amazing sound. There was actually a
Go
really
on, Em.
great texture to it. 8. No, 7, sorry.
5. Originality, Laurie.
Wow, brave, amazing, 10.
10 for me.
Christ. 8.
Did you just change your score?
I did. But this is a good thing. This is interesting. 'Cause
Yeah. Well, I've
I
never
saw it
seen.
after
I've never
seeing
seen anything like it, and I don't think I ever will again.
Yeah.
Enjoyability, 3.
4.
5.
And life-changing past or present, Laurie.
7.
9 for me.
I've given it a 0 again because it hasn't changed my mind. But
No, well, not yet. But if there's a nuclear war, you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
Find the sheep. Right. So let's add it up, and we will work out the scores. Okay. I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah. I'm
Right.
ready.
I've given it 73.
I gave it 75.
Wyndham.
appear to have been a bit harsher than you fellas. I've given it a 55.
What the hell?
That's all right.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so work it out for us. What's the total?
67.6 recurring.
Is that the
That's the average.
67.6?
203 is the total.
All right, so 67.6. Bear with me.
Can I say something quickly?
No, we're here now.
I've just thought of
Yeah,
one-
go on.
Okay, one really important one I think worth saying about Armageddon is a film called Barefoot Gen. Again, came out around this time, 1983. It's a Japanese anime picture, and it depicts World War II from the child point of view.
Yeah, but come on,
From a kid in Hiroshima.
But there's loads of
And-
films like that. Flight of the Fireflies, or
Is the
it's
Barefoot Gen
All right,
ripped me to pieces and spat me out.
all
And
right.
then people actually did that. People
Okay,
dropped
well
that
look, there's
before.
loads of others. You should have chosen it, should you? All right, so right ranking. So on our 2019 leaderboard, it puts it in 4th place, just below The Omen and Black Sabbath, and just above Watership Down.
See, and this is it. These are both films by you, man. And absolutely amazing. Well done.
All right, so our next film of choice is going to be Terry Gilliam's classic 12 Monkeys. So while we're waiting for him to have a piss, shall we have a trailer?
Yeah.
You're a very good observer, Cole.
We have a very advanced program, something very different.
An opportunity to reduce your sentence considerably.
And possibly play an important role in returning the human race to the surface of the Earth.
No license, no prints, no warrants.
But he took on 5 cops like he was dusted to the eyeballs.
What year is this?
What year do you think it is?
1996.
That's the future, James. Do you think you're living in the future?
I'm simply trying to gather information to help the people in the present trace the path of the virus.
We're not in the present now.
So, yeah, basically,
It got a couple of Oscar nominations.
it did. So, I think if they'd done it different, well, let's play a trick on Laurie.
Yeah.
So, I think if they played it differently, then the film would have been a lot better.
I agree.
So, that's about it for 12 Monkeys. So,
Yeah.
shall we score it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Right. Right, come on. All right, I just the amount I'll go to the bathroom now. So, Weird, if you don't mind, because I don't want to leave you with the script.
You keep.
No, don't sit down. Fucking hell. Could you do the fact file?
Fact file?
We don't actually read those things out, do we? Yeah, we do. Read those bits out.
Or the top bits.
Yeah.
All right, why not?
That's
So,
what I do every
Is that
time.
right?
Yeah.
You've got to care
Is that
for
what you
these
do?
guys, right?
Well, I usually
Oh.
say, let me give you a little bit of information about the film.
You think I would know that? We've done 21 episodes of this.
Do you not know
Let me give
that?
you a little bit of information about the film.
You do that.
So it was released in 1995. You guys are fools. Director Terry Gilliam. It's just me and you guys now. Everyone else has buggered off. Inspired by Chris Marker's 1962 short film Le Jeté. Novel? Short film novel. Anyway. Music by Paul Buckmaster. Box office took 168 million and was made on a budget of 29.5 million.
Jesus.
It actually won lots more, nominated for a couple of Oscars. Brad Pitt got a nomination for Best Supporting Actor. I think, I say looking it up, I think Best Costume Design got a nomination as well. Notable actors, Bruce Willis as James Cole, Madeline Stowe as Catherine Rayleigh, Brad Pitt, Christopher Plummer, David Morse, John Cedar. There's a whole load of other people in it, obviously, but they're probably Frank Gorshin.
Sure, please.
Oh yeah, please, thank you. Yeah, so good cast.
Okay.
No sequels or spin-offs.
Oh, there is a TV
there is a
series though.
series now, yeah. I think we can agree you should do that.
Now, look, talking about I think this is going to be a really interesting film to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember when I first saw it, but I certainly saw it when it more or less when it came out, and I remember liking it very much.
At the Cinemaplex?
I don't think I saw it at the cinema, but I do remember thinking, "Oh, it's so good! The performances are brilliant, and the story's really clever." And I think
You all right, Laurie?
I was just kind of looking after the boys.
All right, Dorian Gray. Stare into your reflection for the rest of your life.
I'm not looking at me.
That's product placement. I love this Birra Moretti, though.
When this bishop
hold on,
is
look.
going down a treat.
No, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's... Watching it again today with you and them, nowhere near enjoyed it as much. I thought it was predictable. I thought the performances...
So you could predict it.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it more. But I think it's one of those films that I thought was really brilliant, and I don't know if it stood up to the test of time. Anyway, what was your first memory? Do you remember seeing it?
Well, I remember seeing it when it came out. I must have seen it. I might even have seen it at the cinema, and I think I felt the same thing. I haven't seen it since, and I think I said to you that I just remember this film being a bit of a head fucker, and watching it, and they're going, exactly the same as you, kind of going, actually, no, it's not. And you did actually say that we've seen so many of this kind of time jumping, bit weird type of film,
and we have to take that into consideration.
We're a bit better at it,
yeah.
Now, whereas this was one of the first types of this.
Did you still find it head fucky?
No,
you didn't find it head fucky.
No, that's my point. So it was like clarity. Like, that's
and you could, and because we're so used to these sort of films, you could really see where the plot holes were and where things were going wrong. Just before I ask you when you first saw it, one thing I do remember about it, which I thought it did very well, was the marketing campaign. Because they had those 12 monkeys symbol all over the place, and you didn't know what it was for a while, just like in a film.
Was that what they did?
Was that like almost the first kind of guerrilla marketing campaign?
It was before Blair Witch and stuff like that. And but what it really reminds me of is we were at college at the time, we were at uni, weren't we? And a friend of the show, Jason, was I think he put on a club night. And they used a very similar format. So with the 12 Monkeys, I'm sure they had 12 Monkeys, it's coming. And for this club night they had this poster and they kept saying, it's coming. And
it did come.
It did, and it
just didn't
make much money. It was a very good night, I seem to remember.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I was at that.
Anyway, that's kind of, that's what it really reminded me of. When did you see it,
Mr.
Mr. Wise?
Yeah, I saw it. It would have been when it came out, like what, DVD release, whatever. When I first watched it, I suppose I was expecting and hoping for, that kind of Brazil or the Jabberwocky or Time Bandits. I was really hoping Terry Gilliam will get really surreal on my arse. And I kind of didn't feel like it did. I think Brad Pitt's performance jarred a lot with me, and I didn't particularly really like it. However, now watching it just a few days ago, I was completely surprised how much I really, really like it. It's actually a very good film. I think it's probably one of my favourites of Gilliam.
I think we are complete polar opposites.
We must be.
I remember watching Brad Pitt's performance the first time around, thinking how good it was, and now watching it now, and it's not an easy thing to do, in fairness. Playing that character, so it has to be watchable. Also, it has to be disturbed.
Yeah.
And
Terry Gilliam was really worried about Brad Pitt because he didn't think he could pull it off, and he had a.
I think he pulled it off, but it was watching it now because we've seen so much of all this kind of stuff. Maybe it is that, but I wasn't that keen on his performance. And to be honest, his first bit I really liked, but the more I saw him, the more it's like, if you do that again,
His performance is, for me, less jarring than Bruce Willis's.
Really, Bruce?
Yeah.
I thought Bruce was acting pretty well in that, really.
But when the bit when he kidnaps the doctor for the first time, and they're in the car, and they're playing something on the radio, and he comes over all childish.
And that first...
that was awful.
Come on.
That was awful, that bit.
There's Blueberry Hill, and then there's Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
A Wonderful World.
I'll tell you what is depressing that I broke down. When they said about 5 billion people will die in the future in 1997.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking hell.
Because you're getting older.
Because it's like, it's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's 8 billion of us now.
Yeah.
Oh, really? We could do with 5 billion of them dying now.
Well,
but
we need, what's his name from...
Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's bring him in.
So I'm super quick, sorry. With Brad Pitt's performance, when you first meet him, I think it's just too much, too exaggerated. Turns out Terry Gilliam took away Brad Pitt's cigarettes to get that frantic...
Agitation,
yeah. You just...
Because you can't get cigarettes anywhere.
Well, apparently that's what
He's taking away my fingerman.
That's what happened on the set. But that bit there seemed a little bit too desperate for me, and that's what really jarred with me. And it still did a little bit on the second viewing. However, the arc of the character, when you see him later on, I completely forgiven it. So actually, he does an all right performance. For him to get a nomination at the Oscars, like you say, definitely not. It's too much.
I think Wyndham's right. I think there's bits of it which are really good, and bits of it that are weak. And I was very aware in the car as well. It was like, get over yourself.
I did actually make the point. My first note was, I can't remember whether it was, is this before Bruce becomes a dick? Like, as a man, a real man in real life, because he's a tool, apparently. And big fan of his from Die Hard and all that, but there's a point in his career where he becomes this kind of drama queen.
Yeah, that's before Pulp Fiction as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But
it's
supposed to have been Jeff Bridges.
Who wrote it again?
Jeff
Was
Bridges,
it?
But they said you can't do that. You
Who
can't do it twice.
Who wrote it? Was it Terry Gilliam?
So Chris Marker, David Webb Peoples, and Janet Peoples.
Right. Okay.
So
I thought the plot. I thought there was a lot of ham-fisted points. You know, like when she must have said 5 times, I'm sure I've seen him somewhere before. And it's like a couple of times would have been plenty.
Right, and I'm going to show the fact I wasn't really paying attention.
Done a synopsis?
And I nearly fell asleep a couple of times.
Yeah, we missed the synopsis.
Why has she seen him before?
I've absolutely no idea, actually. He should have seen her before. Oh, she's seen him before as a child.
Yeah, but that's what she's
that's what she's remembering.
I saw you as a 7-year-old kid that looks fuck all like Bruce Willis.
Yeah. So just so
that's just so long as that's what it was.
Yeah, it must have been.
No. But I mean, like even with real life, you know, you kind of have
which is over here,
as
opposed to over here, which is artificial life.
Yeah, you kind of have connection or recognition of certain people. So he's jumping around in time so much. So maybe just the energies
No, that's nonsense. Nonsense. That's got nothing to do with it. No, it's not. That's got nothing to do with it. The reason is, she said very clearly she's seen him before, and it's because she sees him as a child when he dies.
She has actually seen him.
But there's loads of plot holes. We were saying, weren't we? Perhaps Willis would have been more successful if he hadn't told people he was from the future when he arrived, and then got stuck in an asylum.
So we know the number
there must be orientation at these things.
What's the premise of this film?
With time travel?
Synopsis.
Number one rule of time travel is don't kill yourself or shag your
Don't talk about time travel.
The number 2 rule got to be don't tell anyone you're from the future.
Obviously. They would have told him that the first time.
Put in a mental asylum and you won't get out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Absolutely. Also, there was huge leaps, like quite a leap that the Doctor is just happening to do a lecture on, people who believe they're insane through the ages, and she's got a picture of Cole just there.
It's that energy I'm talking about, man. She's drawn to it.
We're not hippies, Laurie. We're not hippies. What do we think about Bruce Willis in general? Can he act? Wyndham, you're not allowed to answer this question? No, you can. Is he a good actor?
I used to adore him when I watched Moonlighting.
They're leaving everything. Moonlighting.
Some walk by night, some fly by day. I loved him. The Return of Bruno. Wow, look at that.
I think it depends what you want. He's an actor. I don't think he's got a great deal of range.
No, but you're absolutely right. He has.
He does what he does.
Yeah, I think this is where he's trying to reach out a little bit more, wasn't
and
he?
If you look at stuff like you mentioned it very briefly, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
That was a renaissance.
A renaissance for him, yeah.
I took the credit for that, but I didn't mention Pulp Fiction.
Did you mention it?
Can't even say it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
But I just said, yeah. Whenever Wyndham says something, I agree with him. Have you noticed?
I have.
Sorry about that.
What do you think of Bruce Willis?
I used to really, really like him, and then it was Die Hard 2, and he was having an interview. I was really excited because Die Hard was the shit, man.
Yeah.
And he was having an interview, and I was like, oh, Bruce, you're a bellend.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's really up his own bum. But so Pulp Fiction, great. I really enjoyed Unbreakable.
The
so
two
he's all right.
Just go on, Wyn.
No, I was just going to say, on him being a bellend, he was interviewed by Radio 1, Breakfast Show on Radio 1, years ago.
Yeah.
And the guy interviewing him said, "Would you mind just quickly saying
for a
just
trailer,
little kind of a little trailer for the show?" And he just said, "Well, if you give me $1 million, I'll say it."
Yeah.
Good for
Give
him.
me $1 million, I'll say whatever you want.
Yeah.
He did the first Amazon advert.
You just won't. No.
Yeah, well, good for him. But do you know what? I don't know who quoted this, but they say, you know, why do you think it's right you get paid? I don't know which actor says this, but why do you think it's right you get paid so much, like $7 million for making a film? It's like, I make the movies for free. I get the $7 million for doing all this shit, all this, all the fucking interviews.
He made because he wanted to work with Terry Gilliam so much. He did this for free. And he
Right.
said, you pay me later. Yeah. He did.
Hey, well, that's cool. Right, so
What?
I thought.
I'm just going to quickly say, what's this film? What's the deal? We basically 5 billion people have been wiped out by a virus.
So you do the synopsis. Go on.
Let's try.
Yeah.
So we're all living underground, and then effectively it turns out these prisoners have got strong minds that we can send back in time, and we've started to get these guys going back to try and figure out where that virus originated from, and Bruce seems to have a particularly strong mind, so they send him back.
Perfect.
Hopefully to 1996. And their hijinks.
That'll do. That is a near perfect synopsis.
Yeah.
Because this film is full of plot holes, which is why you found it so easy to get through.
I want to get back to that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you can't, because I
can you
won't
give me
finish
your
it
plot holes?
in a minute. I'm going to do it.
Okay,
but
great.
with the performances, there were two minor performances I really liked. I really liked the old man who's going, you know, the spooky old man voice.
Bob?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But also there was a guard in the asylum who was calling him Jimbo, and he only had a few lines, but I thought he had a very good presence. So top marks to him, whoever he is.
I think that was Vernon Campbell
Good.
playing Tiny.
Yeah, I thought Vernon Campbell was very good. Right, so look, effects. I think visually it's very satisfying.
Okay, Karen.
But there are lots of holes in it.
Give me those plot holes.
I need to find them.
Okay, so while you do that, quickly back to performances.
All right.
I really liked the hamster.
I'll tell you the biggest plot. I'll tell you the biggest plot hole. The bullet.
Go.
So they find one of the moving points is that they pull out the bullet from his leg, and
So when Bruce Willis has been sent into the past, they're trying to hit 1996.
Yeah.
They miss a couple of times, and one of those times they send him to the First World War, where he gets shot in the leg.
Yeah.
Back in 1996, eventually the doctor he's kidnapped removes the bullet, gives it to the police as evidence that something weird is going on.
Yeah. And they
And
analyse it.
And they
They're
say
like,
it's
"This
fun.
is
That,
from
yeah,
First
it's
World
fun. But they say it's that old. It's not that old. The bullet's only as old as Bruce Willis, because the bullet travelled with Bruce into the future. So it's not an old bullet. So it's not an antique.
Now, thinking about it, composition of bullets would have changed between 1920 and 1996.
And the
So they're saying
spec, the
composition-
design,
Well,
the design
possibly.
of it would be from a specific retro. You got another plot hole?
Probably I can't find.
All right, I'm gonna go back to the hamster. Can I talk about the hamster?
I don't remember it.
For God's sakes. Right, okay, we'll talk about the hamster. So there's a scene where Bruce, I think, he's getting prepared to be thrown back into time. He has to take blood out of his arm or whatever. And the shot pulls back. So obviously very Terry Gilliam. So obviously it's very busy, very sort of like cyberpunk aesthetic to this film. I love it, beautiful, rich. As it pulls back, you get this silhouette of a hamster in a cage. And it's moving. Okay? Fantastic. That's it. That's all we see of the hamster. However, because that would take 5 minutes to shoot that shot, tops. That hamster wasn't moving, so Terry Gilliam, basically, because he's such a perfectionist, spent a whole day filming because of that hamster. It wouldn't move. It has to move the specific way. Just move, basically. And they spent a whole day shoot to get that hamster.
Well, he should have spent more time looking at the script, because that woman as well had ample time to run away.
Yeah.
Numerous occasions.
What bit are we talking about?
When she got out of the car. Yeah.
Oh right. Yes, because she's connected to.
She wasn't connected then when she kicked him in the throat.
No, she feels it.
Doesn't feel it. It's nonsense.
And actually, I think her character disintegrates at an alarming pace.
Yeah.
And just disintegrates
What do
in
you
a
mean
weird way.
This is
No, as in
she's not threats.
No. So Thanos is back. She is a. You're led to believe she is a well-known, respected psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Logical thinker, all that kind of caper and the way psychiatrists are. And then once she doesn't believe Bruce Willis because he says he's from the future, and that's right. That means he's a nutter.
Yeah.
But at the point that she does believe him, she then becomes this. I mean, she fully embraces it, right? She's a bit like Harley Quinn insofar as there's just a right.
Yeah.
I'm not into. Boom. I'm now into. I'm in. 100%. Let's do.
When
what
she
we're gonna
first
do.
clapped eyes on him, she was into him.
She would
It
not
was
have
all
recognised him. He
denial.
looks nothing like he did when he was 7-year-old. He had hair for a start.
And then any excuse she could possibly find, she was in.
I'll tell you what I did like. I thought the music worked very well. It was a very anarchic tune.
Accordion.
Yeah, yeah. And it went so well with certain bits, but especially when all the animals go out the zoo.
Yeah.
I thought that was great, that bit. It was really nice seeing.
Seeing giraffes running across that
Yeah.
bridge in
We've not
New York.
talked about Christopher Plummer, who we were saying earlier.
He's always
is
old.
always old. He's always been old, and he continues to be old.
Yeah, he was toying with youth in Sound of Music, wasn't he? But yeah, he was old.
Pretty old.
Yeah,
He was pretty
But
old.
bearing in mind it's what 24 years ago.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
I don't know. Let's find out. And the other bit of sound that I really liked is when what's his name was in Brad Pitt was in the Asylum.
Yeah.
And he was doing things, and there was a cartoon on the TV, and it was like boing, all those kind of things. It was like timed quite perfectly.
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer is 90.
Good for him. Let's give him a round of applause.
Well then, Christopher.
All right. Look, should we kind of wrap it up a little bit?
We can.
Has anyone got anything else to say? I wasn't as impressed this time around, really. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
So we saw. I did see
And
a
I'll certainly
tenuous
won't watch
link.
the TV series. Go
I
on.
did see a tenuous link. There's a line in it when Catherine Riley says something to Bruce Willis, and he just turns around and said, "I just see dead people." And James and I looked at each other because we were watching it earlier. Just went, "That's essentially a line out of Sixth Sense."
Yeah.
And we were looking at it, and this came out in '95. Sixth Sense came out in '99 with that very famous "I See Dead People" line.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt playing an anarchist in this film in 1995 goes
Fight
on to
Club.
play an anarchist in Fight Club in 1999.
Wow, look at that. It's like almost like time is repeating and echoing.
I mean, if that's not a tenuous link, I don't know what it is.
Look, I didn't hate it, and when I first saw it, I really liked it. And I just think, mate, I think it's influenced so many films like this that I see the holes a bit more.
Yeah.
Have you got any memorable scenes or final lines?
I really liked it. When I first saw it, I didn't think too much about it. Now I've properly seen it, and I really like it, which is actually something Bruce Willis says specifically in this film. They're watching Vertigo, and he says,
"Hey, what's the film they're watching with the tree trunk?
Vertigo.
Is that Vertigo?"
Yeah. So the tree trunk is a big part of Le Jetée, which this kind of apparently is not the remake, but it completely is.
Okay, thank you. Right,
Mate.
so go on. Memorable scene. No, I'm teasing. Go on, tell me.
Right.
Come on, tell me. I feel
so
bad
they're
now.
watching Vertigo, and Bruce Willis says that, I've seen this. I saw this film when I was younger. And she goes, "Yeah, but the film's exactly the same film." He goes, "Yeah, but I've changed."
Yeah.
So the film doesn't change, but you change.
Right.
So obviously that's actually what's happened with me. When I watched this, much, much, much better than I really thought it was. And I love the way that his character sort of, because he's going through time, it's kind of splitting his mind open. And he holds on to what she says to him. It's just your imagination. When she was saying at the beginning, you're obviously off your rocker.
Yeah.
You just think you're travelling through time. You're not. And he actually becomes convinced. Oh, I'm not. I've just gone nuts. I just want to chill out. I want to go and watch Vertigo and the birds. I just want to relax, man. And he shouts. He shouts, "Leave me alone!" And then you hear this kind of echo that they put on his voice.
Look, in the defence of the film, can I was saying to Wyndham, "Oh gosh, I remember every bit that's coming up before it." But that's quite a good thing, I suppose. That I think I was more annoyed that I remembered it too much.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it for a long time. Anyway, look, have any memorable scenes, any last lines before we score this baby?
He gets washed.
Oh God, he's next.
does.
There is a lot of
But like with
nakedness. All right, that'll do. Shall we? Should we mark it?
I was accosted by a coked-up whore and a fucking crazy dentist. I kind of like that.
Yeah,
That's a great line.
And actually, I did comment on the fact that the hotel that you book by the hour,
Yeah.
pretty grand. Big rooms,
Yeah.
high ceilings, nice bathroom.
How do they clean the rooms? That's what I wanted to know.
I mean, it is covered.
Yeah.
If you went in there with a black light, you'd be
Oh.
very upset.
Yeah. So just super quick.
Yeah, go on.
The link between Hitchcock and this film is actually a very, very important one. Back to La Jetée, the tree trunk, the curl on the back of the lady's head. I can't remember the actress's name in Vertigo, where she's got her hair up in a bun. That spiral.
Yeah.
It's all interconnected to this film. I don't quite know why. It's linking to time travel and.
Well, look, you see the spiral everywhere. Once you
Kim
start
Novak.
seeing it, Laurie, it's everywhere.
Yeah, Kim
Novak,
exactly.
Uzumaki,
Her hair in
Laurie.
Vertigo.
Uzumaki.
Uzumaki.
Listen.
Yes.
Oh, and can I also just say, it's a really strong ginger ponytail.
Very strong.
Look,
it's strong.
We've been going for an hour and a half already, so we've really got to score this.
Oh, Terry was allowed final cut on this film, just as long as he promised that they'll keep it under 2 hours 15.
That's why it was so bloody long.
And final cut, well, he did it in 2 hours 7.
Yeah, it's too long.
But final cut was not a done thing, and Terry managed to get final cut for this film. So this is actually a Terry Gilliam film.
Wow.
Right, let's score it. Okay, so I'll kick us off. Performances, 7. Wyndham.
6.
7, yeah.
Effects, Wyndham.
7.
8.
So, 8 from me. Plot, Laurie.
8. Well, no, 7.
7 from me.
5.
Wyndham, rewatch factor.
3.
Laurie.
6.
4. Direction, Laurie.
7.
7.
7.
Cinematography, Wyndham.
7.
8.
6. Sound and music, Laurie.
6.
7.
6.
Originality, Wyndham.
7.
7.
I'm going to give it an 8 because I think if I put myself back in that time, I think it was pretty an original film. Mm-hmm. Enjoyability, 7. Wim?
Yeah, I've gone very harsh on that, so I'm going to change it to 6.
Yeah.
8.
And life-changing past or present, Laurie.
3.
2.
No.
All right, so let's add up the scores and work out where we are.
Oh, look at that. All our 300 listeners, watchers are still there.
Is there nobody there?
I don't know whether it tells us whether...
No, it doesn't, thankfully.
What
Anyway, people can watch it after the event.
The people looking in the window. Get out of it, you dirty kids.
All right. Okay, so I came up where my score is 63. Wyndham?
54.
Croatia, 67 points.
Okay, so it gives it
Total of 184.
Yeah.
Which is 61.3.
61.3, which just puts it above Tales from the Crypt and just below Braindead.
Well done. Yeah.
I'm kind of happy with that.
Yes.
And
well done. This works.
And in the massive in their overall thing, it puts it number 23, and it's just below the Running Man and Edward Scissorhands. And I do think the Running Man's better personally, so I'm quite happy with that.
No, I think this is better than Running Man.
Right, who wants to have a rummage through my ball bag?
I think it's your...
It
your
is.
You got to let somebody else hold it, though.
I guess so. I'm worried that it'll do something anarchic after all of these things. Okay, so if anyone, by the way, if anyone's got a category for the ball bag, you just need to email in, and we'd like to hear some of those. Did Terry mention any? I don't think he did he?
Categories, no.
All right.
I'd love to do a quick shout
Anyway,
out
if you want
that's
to,
all right.
yeah, hold on. If you want to get in touch, email us at themovielighthouse@gmail.com. We're on Facebook at Movie Lighthouse, and I don't bother doing Twitter anymore.
No.
But who?
I got kicked out of my account, so I'll pick that one up. Don't worry, I'm back
great.
in now.
Done with Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really understood how it works. Instagram is Movie Lighthouse, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can I
any of
shout
those.
out? Can I do a shout
It's
out?
not a request show, Laurie, but who are you shouting out to? Tell them to write in, and then they'll get their own shout
Well, no,
out.
it's more of a collective, really.
Yeah, go on then.
Thanks. So it's actually a Facebook group. There's a community called the Holy Mountain. Dr. Caligari's, I probably said that. Caligari, Dr. Caligari's cult movie Utopia.
Do you know what that's based on?
So the Holy Mountain, I believe, is based on the film by Jodorowsky, which is actual work of art. I love that.
And have you seen The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari?
I haven't.
I have.
And
It's very good.
I'd love to see that film.
I think I've got a copy somewhere.
I would love to borrow it.
Don't know where it is.
Okay, but it's a really, really cool
great.
group. So if you're interested in something like weird, definitely obscure, non-mainstream
All right, give us that shout out
films,
again.
The Holy Mountain, Dr.
Caligari's
cult movie Utopia. It's a really, really cool group.
Is that a website or Facebook group?
It's just a Facebook group. There might be other sites that they rock on, but it's just a community of people like shouting out on old obscure films and odd stuff.
Well, definitely check that out.
Chats and stuff. They're really,
Okay,
really
can I
cool.
choose a ball, please?
Of course you may.
You keep... great.
Go on.
Exciting. Oh, that's the one that popped itself out. All right, and I have chosen 39, which is Guilty Pleasures.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Shamrock Audio Classics brings you the latest groundbreaking 20th century masterpiece. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Jack Torrance's visceral, unrivaled classic has been meticulously reworked, remixed and remastered into this stunning 5.1 Dolby surround sound audio experience.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Comparable only to the greatest works of Bronte, Beckett, Roth and Woolf, this coruscating and insightful journey asks the one question truly worth asking.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Torrance heroically pits himself against a Sisyphean sentence, a battle in which only one can survive.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Pathos.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Intrigue.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
And heartwarming.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. The eternal metatextual struggle between man and the typewriter, mastered in the original manuscript, and now flawlessly transposed to this spectacular 666-hour-long audio opus. Mouthed through the larynx of that guy. You know the one, the little fella from Blue Peter. He was in Flash Gordon and got bit by that squidgy thing in the tree. Shamrock Audio Classic. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy out now. This advert is brought to you by the mental disintegration of a winter caretaker and his shiny son's frequent observance of hysterically terrifying twins in pinafores and a rapidly decomposing naked woman in a bathtub. Best enjoyed accompanied by a bourbon served by a ghostly bartender and a long dead racehorse.
Come on. I'm a bit funny.
You are a bit.
I tell you what I watched the other day, which would have been perfect guilty pleasure. Dolls. It's amazing. I think I put this because I really wanted to get this category.
It's really. See, the thing of the things I'm thinking is like, wait a minute, that's just actually a really good film.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Right, listen, you get a free pass then because it's taking too long. Just put what the fuck you want. Keep the first one. Yeah. All right, time's up, and it really is. So you've just got to choose anything now. So let's go to Laurie. Your first choice, please.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Okay.
Starring John Boy and Hannibal Peppard.
All right, great. Never seen it, so I'm intrigued.
It's kind of, when Star Wars was big,
Yeah,
it's trying to
I've
do
heard
that.
about it.
Yeah.
Win.
Phantasm.
Ooh. That's the one that I thought was the other one.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
What did you confuse it with?
That really highbrow one that you really like about the ballet dancers.
About the ballet dancers?
Black Swan?
No, and maybe not. They're not ballet dancers. They're dancers.
What?
Suspiria.
Oh, for goodness sakes! Yes.
TV.
Right, Laurie, your second choice.
What was your first choice?
Phantasm.
Battle
Beyond the Stars. Laurie, second choice.
Actually, I've just suddenly come up with another one. The
Yeah.
Last Starfighter. There you go. There's two very similar.
All right, that's all right. With them.
Starfighter. And I'm going to stick to a genre.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with Puppet Master.
As in the one with the puppets.
As in the one with the puppets.
Because I know we've done Puppet Masters. Well, all right. Well, look.
My one was going to be Society, but that's just too
No,
good.
it's too cool. Right, I am going to choose Battle Beyond the Stars and another film which is very close to my heart, almost as close to my heart as Puppet Masters, is Puppet Master. So I'm very excited we're doing both of those. So Puppet Master and Battle Beyond the Stars, please.
There we are.
Okay.
All right. So listen, if you have watched us, thank you for putting up with it. And if you like us, please review us on iTunes. And drop us a few messages. You can do it if they're bad. Actually, I quite like the negative comments.
That'd be kind of good.
Negative comments.
Oh no, I'm talking. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Well, look, that's all. Oh look, that's all for this week. Keep safe and keep your movie light shining bright.
And so you should.
Oh yeah, because it rhymes. Keep safe and keep your movie light shining bright. All right, so
That doesn't rhyme.
No, it doesn't really.
Light and bright rhyme.
Oh, movie light shining bright. Okay, yeah, sorry.
We might need to work on that.
Get it more patois or something.
All right, yeah, go on. Squeeze that in just before we go. Right, that's it. See you later.
Bye.
Cheers.